Hey, it's Mac, and it's Wednesday. It's July 2nd, and I had a trader send me this trade example, live trade, and I thought I would share it with you. Another good read by this trader. As you can see, he had a two legs down. Um, One of his questions was he wasn't sure if he read this trend line properly or this channel properly, but I would say this is correct. And this is one of those where you might have to draw it off the highs to get it right off the lows. Um, because you don't get your confirming touch till way up here, and you also get a break by that time. So it's a little difficult to find this trend if you're not good at chart reading. So, but you can clearly see that midline coming into play all the way up through there. And a couple of times we bounced before we got to back to the trend line, but notice we never made a new high until we did get back there. So the problem here is, you're working back. You get a first entry, and then you're working back, and you actually get a triple test here. The problem is it breaks lower first and then turns up, and you really don't want to enter that on an engulfing bar. So you have to wait for this bar to close, and when it does, it doesn't really qualify. I think there's too much of a stem up there. I can't really zoom into this, so hopefully you can see that stem right there. And so I think it's a little dangerous entering on the second entry. So what you need to do here is wait on a higher entry or a higher low. And that's what he does. And there's still plenty of room to get out with a higher low. And it takes this one a minute to take off. And he does take a little heat for a second, but I still think it's a good entry. He had a good signal bar. It's a higher low following the second entry. It's right at the key entry point. And you can see these other bars working. Just watch how they work off that key entry point. So let's let this play, and you can watch it now that I've set it up for you. And so basically what he's taking is a higher low off of following a second entry that was not an ideal setup. So here we go, and
Order
he's getting his
submitted.
order ready. And there's bar finished, and he put it one tick above
Order
it. Nice
filled.
setup, nice entry. He got a good entry point there. It actually looks like he got in at the top of the bar, so he got a little, I think he might have got a tick better entry there than what you would expect, because usually it's one tick above, but I believe he's in that one right at the top of the bar. Yeah, so he got a pretty good entry there. And you'll see it does back up a tick or two, so he takes it's not much heat. If I remember right, he only takes a tick or two of heat here before it takes off. So this was I like this setup. As soon as I saw it, I liked it before I even saw what the trade was going to do. And sure enough, it turns out to be a winner for him. So um, no runners on this one. Looks like he's just scalping out. And one of his questions was, it looks a little congested, and it is a little congested. And that's probably why he takes some heat there. But you can see that trend line coming into play. Prices are really struggling to go much lower than that trend line. So, but yes, it is congested. And that could have been a reason to say, okay, I don't trust this read. I'm going to wait. But I like the trade. I would have seen. I want to say I marked this on the chart lesson. Was this what day it was? Did he take this? I'm not sure if he took this today or yesterday, but it looks like yesterday's chart. And I want to say I marked this trade. If it doesn't, it just looks like one I marked recently. So, but you can see he's almost out of it. It's
Target
bouncing. And
filled.
there it is. Quick, easy trade. The whole, I mean, we're 4 minutes into this, and I spent 2 minutes describing it. So, trade that lasted a couple of minutes. And I'm not even sure how many points he went for there. What did he go? He went for six. He went for a point and a half there. So I would have scalped out with 4 ticks personally, and then maybe tried to get a runner to go a little further. But needless to say, I think he played this well still. Um, but yeah, he got more than 4 ticks out of it. He got 6 ticks on 2 contracts. So nice trade by this trader. Um, I appreciate him sharing it, and I think it's a good read. And it was a little congested, and that might have been a reason for some of you to say, okay, I'm not going to enter this, especially if you're a newer trader. But with that being support,
Target
once we
filled.
closed above it like that and above the EMA, and you can see, or the key entry point, let me stop this. You can see that key entry point and how prices are working off of it. They closed above it every single time except for these first two bars here. And that's telling you that it's probably a valid trend line. It's giving you clues. It tried to go lower and couldn't, and it tried to go lower here and couldn't. And I mean, what looked like it might be going to go lower turns out to be a very bullish bar. So, very nice trade by this trader. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you can learn something from these trades. If you want to send me a trade example, I'm happy to look at those. You can email those to me. Anything else, I'd ask you to take to the forum. But if you want to send me trade examples, video trade examples like this, so we can share them with others and use them for teaching moments, that's great. So, but this is a good trade. I like it. Uh, the only concern I might have would be the congestion, but I would have taken that trade with the second entry following the higher low, and the way prices were reacting off the trend line. I'm taking that trade myself. So anyway, there it is. Again, thanks for this trader for sharing, and good trades to everybody. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.